Hello and good afternoon, my dear audience. Welcome to GETI's Live Talk, hashtag Disruptive Education. This disruptive education movement was started by our founder director, Dr. Sunita Gandhi, solely with the aim to disrupt education and provide platform to the edupreneurs, educators, school leaders, and educators around the world to come to our platform and share their views and ideas. So, till date, we have hosted around 1,000 or 1,100 live talks, and still we are moving on, providing new ideas, new knowledge, and innovative thinking to our teachers. So, with this aim, we have a very special guest with us, Miss Kashmira Jaiswal. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Miss Kashmira Jaiswal is the vice principal of Navrachna School, Sama at Vadodara, Gujarat. She is the recipient of the Indian Inspiration Woman Award 2020, the Global Leadership in Education Award from the Education Council of India in 2016, Fulbright Fellowship ILEP Award in 2015, and the Pearson Teacher Award in 2013. She has been the CBSE Master Trainer for ASL and conducts training program for secondary school English teachers of the community. She is the recipient of Federal Assistant Grant Award from the US Department of State for her project Upskilling to Upcycle. She is a skill development trainer for community skills, communication skills, personality development, soft skills, leadership skills, and drama. A passionate English teacher, she shares a very good rapport with her students and alumni, strengthening the ever cherished bond between the teacher and the pupil. So, with this, we welcome you, ma'am. And today, she will be speaking on the topic balancing the tightrope walk between online and offline teaching. A very interesting topic. Looking forward to listen from you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, Zainab ma'am. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Uh, this has been a journey that has lasted, the online teaching journey has lasted us for, say, more than 18 months, 19, 20 months now. And so all of us have been walking that tightrope walk. Earlier, we were getting used to online teaching. Now, we are getting used to, both how to balance between, simultaneous when students, half of them are online and half of them are in person. So just wanted to share things that we do here in our school, and things that I've learned from uh, educators, my network. And so we shall share my PPT, and here we go. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. It is visible. Go
Okay,
ahead, ma'am.
great.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. So we all have been doing the balancing act between this and this. This, this scenario is very known to all of us, when right from, training, dance to physical exercises, to yoga, to robotics, to environmental studies, everything has been done online. You can see that child has got his phone on his waist while he's doing his 1 2 3 exercise. And this, when now our students have started coming in, chahe 30 to 40%, 50% strength aana shuru ho gayi hai, but this excitement of answering in the class, the excitement of in person teaching, and here is the teacher with the question mark in the center. So, which is what I wanted to tell you. Of late, I have been studying a lot about John Spencer. He's an educator, and he's been inspiring me a lot, because in my research, his findings keep popping up a lot. And so, this is what he had to say, that there is no such thing as a creative type. We are all creative, each one of us. And so, this is how a teacher, I think, is the most creative person right now amongst all corona warriors, amongst all medical and police warriors. The teacher has been the, should I say, the creative warrior of all. And so kudos to all of us, all of you teachers, and how creatively we handle our things. Also, I just wanted to inspire you with this spark, that creativity subjects all ट्रांसेंड्स ऑल सब्जेक्ट एरियाज. तो ये नहीं है कि लैंग्वेज टीचर है तो क्रिएटिव होगी, अब साइंस टीचर को क्रिएटिव होने की क्या ज़रूरत है. ऐसा नहीं होता है. क्रिएटिविटी इज जस्ट समथिंग दैट we can be resourceful, solve a problem at the drop of a hat, use our creativity for that. So teachers, kudos to all of you for that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to, the bottom line that we wanted to remember was that we have to be sold into the concept before we want student buy-in. So if the students are going to buy, okay, yes, I need to go to school because it's an offline class I need to attend, or no, I need to attend the online class because online learning is benefiting me. So a teacher has to be able to sold to that concept before she wants the student to buy in or be convinced with that concept. So the ownership starts with the teacher, and then the ownership has to be passed on to the student. So we as teachers need to be we need to be sure about our concepts first, whether we like this or like that. And liking or disliking is something that is not in our purview right now. The benefits, the advantages, the disadvantages, a lot has been discussed on platforms. I shall not dwell much on it. This is just in passing. Where what has offline what do we miss for offline education? We miss the discipline setting, people coming in, the face-to-face interactions, the competitive atmosphere, the interpersonal skills, the social skills that we could all connect with our students could connect with each other, and all that is missing, right? But online has also got plenty of advantages for us. And so there are flexible hours, location doesn't matter. Today I'm teaching students of my class who say, oh, I am at my grandpa's house, he is very ill, ma'am, I'll be joining my class from, I am in Vadodara but he's joining from Mumbai, but we've like connected all our students together, he's gone and stuck there. So location doesn't matter, time doesn't matter, we can flex our hours, and so the class is recorded and students can watch it again. So there there is a, we can't say one model works for us, but yes, we need to find the good in everything. And so what is synchronous teaching? Synchronous teaching is when we teach all of them together. Asynchronous is when I've sent out a video and people are watching it at their own good time, at their own good pace. There was a time like that when we were in the thick of Corona. The students could not, come together on a synchronous platform, but they could be given a task. Okay, you watch this video and keep, and we'll discuss it tomorrow at your pace. So, but challenges of synchronous online teaching are different. So we've got to everybody needs to come online. Not all students get online, there is limited bandwidth at their places and stuff like that. So there were challenges in that also. And there are some good things about technology also, because of course it has brought greater interactions, because I'm on one-on-one with my students on my laptop, and there are greater interactions. We can find time to chat later after the class, they can ask their doubts, they can put it up in the chat box, and they can go anonymous chat. And so there are a lot of things that are happening. There is encouragement of more engagement with students. So those are the pluses. And they take control of their journey, learning journey. But there are also some minuses, like everybody's talking about the screen time. Already students were hooked on, children were hooked on for say 7 to 7.5 hours in some most countries. The Western countries have reported this, that 8 to 17-year-olds are hooked on for 7.5 hours of screen time. Then there is lack of physical activity. Then if we are asking them to do e-learning, already they are for entertainment 7.5 hours. Then we ask them to do e-learning for 5 days a week. And there is weight gain, there is obesity, there are problems. So of course that is one downside. And so amongst all this noise that the teacher and the school gets to hear, and there's an example that I wanted to share with you. So there is this a disastrous blended learning interview that was given by Mr. Jeff Lisciandrello. And he said that he was shocked to hear how schools were planning to live stream their in person classes. For example, Group A students are learning remotely from home, but they are watching a live stream of students in the class. So the class teacher is live streaming an offline class, in person class. And what a disaster that is, because it's as good as watching a, the example he says is broadcasting live classes don't allow us to leverage the benefits of either in person or online. Because imagine, you're asked to write a movie that would be shown in theaters and broadcast over the radio. You're not watching it, you're broadcasting it over the radio. So how does it, does it make any sense? So these are the kind of talks not only in our country but all over the world, talks of online, offline. And so last month we began our offline and online both teaching together. Now here's a term that you can remember. This kind of a teaching is called high flex teaching. So if anybody asks you, school chalu ho gaye hain, aap log kya kar rahe ho, you can tell them, oh, we are doing high flex teaching. So what is high flex teaching? It is concurrent teaching where we follow the blended model, and where you have children sitting in class and you have children sitting online, and you are teaching both. You're teaching your students in person as well as you're teaching students online. And I know for a fact that it's a very, very difficult job, and all of us are struggling with it. Not only difficult, but from all stakeholders' point of view. And so, how do we help in high flex teaching? Like, what can you? Something that can definitely help is, you choose equitable access. So, for example, you have people sitting in class, but there are people at home. You are giving a quiz to your students in class. Give the same quiz to children sitting at home when they've joined online. So give them a Padlet, ask them to do something in Flipgrid, get Google Slides, get Google Docs, something, get forms, Google Form, Microsoft Form, and so get all of them on the same platform, equitable access to the tools. Also, don't be too harsh on yourself, because we do expect, board classes hai, bhagna hai, syllabus khatam karana hai. Well, even the boards are looking at it and they are asking you to take it easy. They're asking the students to take it easy, and they're making things easier for us. So why do we have to be so harsh on ourselves? You know, we need to slow down. We need to take it easy. We, as a teacher, we need to take everyone in stride with us, our students as well as our co-teachers. So there are some problems and the solutions. So today's session is going to be mainly based on that, like I said, a tightrope walk between in-person and offline. There we will talk about some measures people are taking across other countries. Whatever we find good, we can pick it up for ourselves. Whatever I do in my classes, I'll share with you and we can pick up. So, however, there are some, what we need to do is we do not need to abandon partner work. So, there may be some problems where safety measures may be problems, strict protocols may be problems. We have to keep our desks apart, and so the partner discussion that we used to keep earlier, that may be a problem. But with high flex instruction, we can try to, maybe we can have one online partner with an offline partner. We do our classes in the computer lab, or we have the the printer, the OHP. We have in-person and remote students paired up together, or we have in-person students paired together, and in our the ERP or the Microsoft Teams or the Google Class, we have the breakout rooms and the online students are paired together. So we should not abandon this partner and group work, very definitely. Why? Because it's not the transfer of content that is our only job. transfer of content can be done asynchronously also. We do not need to connect synchronously with our children कि transfer content करना है, handout है, chapter है, explanation है, but it's the student engagement that we want. And what better student engagement than collaboration between them? So please don't abandon that. Also make sure that you are making social emotional learning a priority, because this is, in the past 18 months, this is something that has been missed the most maximum by students. Parents are also talking about it, that I had a student walk in the other day. We invited students into the school, the new students who joined in 2020, to visit the school because they'd never visited the school. And so there were some students who were young students. They could not maintain eye contact. They could not look into the eyes of people and talk, because that's what the COVID year has done to students. Children have been contained, confined, isolated, and so social distancing norms and everything. So even if we have to spend time on academic curriculum, we need to get in these skills. We need to do projects, we need to do group works, we need to pick 2 3 4 children together to get these emotional and social learning, to get their relationships. They may fight, they may be awkward, but we need to do as teachers, and we need to leverage both online and offline platforms for that. And so there are privacy issues. We need to protect student privacy. We need to protect student data. We need to be mindful of their inhibitions, because earlier on, when all students were offline, if a child had a problem, she'll meet you outside the class and she'll come and tell you, ma'am, I wanted to tell you this, but not in front of everyone, so I am telling you. But when we are having an online class, she writes it on the chat section, and the chat is visible to everyone. So we need to take care of that. Maybe talk to her on a private chat, or maybe ask, meet her later, meet her or him later. So there are these things that we need to take care about. Earlier a teacher might pull out a student in the hallway out of the sight and earshot of the class, but now the chat is visible, so we need to take care of those things. So these are some things to take care of when we are meeting both offline and in online and in-person schools. Also, everybody's talking about dominance of screen time and camera fatigue. There are times when students just don't want to. There was a time when they could not visit barbers, and they would say, "Man, please don't ask us to put on the camera because our hair, the hair is a mess." And there was a child who said, "Ma'am, I have too many pimples. I don't want to put on my camera," and stuff like that. So there are issues that the teenagers are facing, and so we need to be careful about that. We need to that maybe we can design activities in which we say, okay, these 15 minutes I want everybody's camera on, but this is your me time where you're working or solving a problem or doing a Kahoot, and you can put your camera off at that time. Or today we are working on our own devices and you will not put your camera on. And so the media balance that a teacher needs to balance. And so among the do's, I'll just consolidate all the do's. So when high flex class, we need to make the remote students feel that they're still part of the class. At times, what happens, the teacher gets so busy with the students in person, she feels she owes it to them. Oh, they've taken the trouble to come to class, and I need to get across to them. But the online students are still logged in there, and they are there. So we need to understand that, of course, it's a tightrope walk. Like I said, I've already termed it as tightrope walk. But yes, we need to make them feel also that they are part of this class. So have the in-person and the remote learners interact with each other, set their learning expectations. Okay, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want the online students to do. We can create routines. So I just recently took the assessment of speaking and listening skills. So what I did was, we had the OHP, and so the children who were in class in person, they came and sat in front of my camera where I had the other students logged in, and they sat in front of the class and they did their interpersonal interaction. And the topic that I had given them was very comfortable for them to be able to speak about. So that also needs to be taken care of. We cannot put them in a hot spot. We can't put them on a spot. And so if you are asking them to be sharing cameras, to be, talking to people online, we need to not keep them in a spot and make the engaging activity acceptable and engaging to them. And so the entire online class could see the offline assessments, and similarly when the online assessments happen, spoken English, my in-person students could, and there was a lot of camaraderie in the class and they enjoyed it. And so what are the don'ts? So don't expect to follow the pace of 2019 or 2018. So we have to, you know even in 2020 our pace was very good, because the online class you could finish your course faster. You didn't have other issues to take care of, like those that happens interpersonal wobbles, sports, IHC students are going out, sports programs, you had a dedicated 40 minutes of class. So even that schedule was different. But now when you have the high flex teaching, schedules change. So don't be harsh on yourself, don't be harsh on students. Always remember to unmute. And there are students, okay, ma'am, you're on mute, why don't you come unmute yourself? And so don't overextend, trying to keep pace with other teachers. But whatever you're doing, you do it with panache. So there are some strategies that I would like to discuss with you about. So for example, meaningful engagement. Uh, we need to stimulate the in-person experience, because if the in-person class is sitting and if they're only watching the OHP, whatever the teacher discussed earlier, there is no engagement among them. Get them to do group work, get them to solve the problems together. So have in-person experience exciting, just like we used to put them together, bunch them up into a group project. Do that again. And even for online engagement, differentiate it. Get them into groups. So there are in-person groups, there are online groups, but make it meaningful. When they have started coming to school, they can't be hooked onto the OHP again. They can't. It's don't change the screen for them. From home they were watching the laptop or the phone screen, and they've come to school and they are watching the OHP screen. So what's different for them other than wearing a uniform and coming to school? Make it interesting, make it engaging. And so how to make those things? So here's what there are chat moderators that you can make. So for example, if I have, say, in my class of 40 students, I have 15 who have come to school and the rest of them are working from home. And so I have logged in through my Microsoft Teams here in my laptop. I also have the OHP, and so whatever I'm showing to them, it's a video, or we are solving a board question paper, or whatever we are doing, or I've given them a 15 minutes of assignment. I've given them a grammar paper on Kahoot. I'm an English language teacher, or I've asked them to write a small limerick, or I've asked them to write a paragraph, and whatever work I've given them. I have a chat moderator here sitting with me. So while I am taking my rounds working with the in-person students, there is a chat moderator who helps moderate between the online class and me. And so it helps that student is engaged, and we can have turn by turn chat moderators who can work between, as a bridge between the online class and the offline class, and we can rotate this role, and we can partner one offline student and one online student. And so this idea of chat mod works very well, and I've tried it. And so breakout rooms are we use Microsoft Teams, so there are breakout rooms available. And if there is a group project, for example, I've given them something to ideate upon, and I've given them a problem and they want to bring solutions for it. And so put them in the breakout room, they discuss it, create their PPT talk, and then come back and present. So, you know, uh, you can send them there with a given time, because that is what happens when you send them out to breakout room. Getting them back is difficult. So either you can set your breakout rooms for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or you can wander into the breakout online rooms, or your chat moderator can wander into the breakout rooms, and you can take rounds in the class with your uh, in-person students sitting and working. And also, these interactive tools are a very good idea for polling, quizzing, Kahoot. I have some walls that I will show you later. After I have shown you the PPT, I can show you my Kahoot wall. I can show you my Wakelet wall, where I ask students to post their work. So if I've sent them out to a breakout room, I send them out a Wakelet wall link. So after you've created your 4-line poetry, you need to upload it here. And so once everybody has uploaded it, I can show it to the others, and there can be peer assessment happening over there. So one can always use these interactive tools. Also, one can differentiate the online engagement, like the students in the classroom are wearing masks and they are positioned to lead large group discussions, whereas the students in the online, so we have discussion leaders in class, like we have chat moderators for the online discussion. We differentiate here in person, and we assign discussion leaders who research content, and then and then they generate the student discussion. For example, there's a debate that I want them to practice, so they gather their points and have a large group discussion. And so then the discussion leader can share the projector screen and engage both the offline and online class. This is what I do a lot in my classes. For example, I am just an English teacher. I teach a lot of literature, but science and math maths teachers can do a lot of research. But I have some search masters in my class, and now earlier I had defined a few search masters, but now I have many, because they love to do this. They are already online. The online students are already logged in through their laptop device or their. So we are reading about Shakespeare, and I asked them, okay, why don't you go and find this out for me? Fastest fingers first. I set it out as a challenge. So as a challenge, I say, okay, I want you to find out this about this, and they go, or we are teaching an author. So find out, is this author dead or alive? Which country does this author belong to? What are the other great works that this author has done? And so they quickly go, fastest fingers first. They'll get the information, put it up on the chat box. My chat moderator will read it out for the offline people. And so I'm leveraging online people because they are finding my search masters, and I'm leveraging offline people. And so I'm leveraging both technology and in person strengths. And so also one can bookend these classes with online student reflections, and uh, this is what I do with post reading discussions, questions. So I usually we give them a time bound. Okay, question number 1, let's discuss. A lot of points come in. The in-person students have their own point of view, and they will give their own points, and my chat moderator will keep jotting down those points in the chat section. The online students give. So after a 40-minute class, we have collectively made such a lot of notes that are there in my online class for all of them to take away. This is what I'm saying. The reflective takeaways are great. And so in the next class, when I start the next class, there's a lot of takeaway from the previous section, because the offline children have given away a lot of points and answers, and the online children, and we've got it all typed in the chat section, so we can recap from the chat section and then move on to the new. So reflective summary helps a lot. And so giving students their voice, it is very important that we as teachers do not hurry with course completion, do not hurry with transacting curriculum. I find that word transacting curriculum to be very binding, Because is it just the uh, curriculum that we are transacting? Like, there's that comic that comes in where a child's head is open and everybody is just pouring out knowledge in it. Or do we want their engagement? Do we want their when you hide your voice, you rob the world of your creativity. So as a teacher, if you think that your co-teachers have planned a lesson in a manner that you want to speak up, this can be done this way, or why don't we engage our students in another manner? NEP is asking us to do a lot of things. So do not let anybody rob you of your creativity. Get up and speak and let the people know what you're thinking, what are your creative ideas. And also the same goes for students, because if you are assigning the same kind of project, the behind the text answers are like that. Everybody, if a teacher is giving away the answers to them, you're getting 30 or 43. I have a class of 43 and 53. I'm getting 43 answers of the same type because I dictated it to them. Well, why am I doing that? Why do I not give them their voice? And so why am I cloning all the answers, all the people, all the responses? So I need to think of projects that can, get their creativity out. So this is those models again. Just in brief, I'm not going to go very deeply into them because the split A/B model and the other models get a little difficult. But yeah, we talked about differentiated model. The ones at home are using the video conferencing or classes. Students in person are meeting and they're watching the direct instruction and the virtual group is watching. So this is a kind of work up that people have done across the countries. I'm saying not only in India, when there were dire corona days and we could not even get students to come online. Teachers were connecting with them on WhatsApp, and they were sending out, videos to them. They were sending out homework to them, and they were doing a split A/B model. So a teacher is teaching 15 students, like a group A and a group B and stuff like that. So these are a variety of things that are done across the world, which I have shared with you. And here's a little bit of a brief of how every model works. So the differentiated model, every student attends the class synchronously. So this is synchronous, but yet we differentiate for offline people and online people, like I had discussed with you earlier. And this is how a sample traditional class for a high flex class may be. Like there are students at home and there are students in person, and so you ask them to warm up. Like you ask them a question from the previous day, and so the students who are in class, they respond in person. The students who are at home, they respond on the chat. So you take your 5 minutes of warm up, and or you can have your chat moderator do that. So you're taking your attendance, and the warm up is happening. Then you have some direct instructions. For example, if you've given them a video to watch earlier, or if you're asking them to watch a video for 5 minutes and then put up questions for it. So you can play it for both offline and online students. Then you're asking them for a guided practice. You've given them a problem to solve. Those who are sitting online sit in groups. Those who are offline, they are sitting in person with social distancing, the others. And so then you give them an independent practice, throw in a Kahoot to them, ask them to prepare a mind map on Mind Me Esther or anything. Just ask them to upload something on a Wakelet wall or a Padlet wall. Give them, it's a time bound activity. Tell them you have to do this job in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And you see, all 40 minutes of yours, they are either engaged in absorbing some content, or discussing with your their partners, and then creating some content. So sample high flex traditional classes. Just this is just a sample. You all are creative people. You can create your great plans. So I have always been a great fan of engagement, but I'm moving one step forward now. I'm saying it's not only engagement, it's empowerment that we want to bring to students. And because empowered learners are engaged learners, because if they feel, yes, I can create this. Creativity is something that we need to, uh, and so they are empowered. And so we have to make this shift from engaged to empowerment. And how do we do that? you know Most of the time teachers are getting students to comply. Open your book. Okay. Read paragraph 1. All right. Answer the question that is related to paragraph 1. Are we spending our 40 minutes in compliance? Is a question we need to ask. Are we spending our, वो शाहरुख खान की फिल्म का डायलॉग था ना, ये 70 मिनट कौन सा चक दे, ये 70 मिनट तुम्हारी जिंदगी के. सो आई एम आस्किंग यू, ये 40 मिनट 35 मिनट जितने भी हैं, are we spending it on compliance, or are we engaging? And so we are moving towards empowerment. As you can see, the arrow moving towards empowerment. And so are we moving towards student centered. I, like I said, मैंने शुरू में भी कह दिया था that it's a tightrope walk. I agree, I empathize, I understand, but as teachers, aren't we doing everything that we can to empower our students? And so if we do it with a little more of planning, a little more of goal orientation, how do we do that? Do we give them independent projects? Do we give them some choices to make? Do we uh, make it more student centered? And so here is this and so whether offline, whether online, I am a big fan of collaboration. Get 2 4 students to work together. How much of social emotional learning they will be doing, how much of learning they will be doing from each other. They'll learn adaptability, they learn critical thinking, because they will share their point of views. They will learn communication, they will learn empathy. Oh, I could not do this yesterday because my mom was down with corona or anything. So they learn empathy, they learn perseverance, they inquiry. Okay, do you know about this? No, let's go Google it, find out, ask the teacher. So I am a big fan of collaboration and imagination, because that's when the backyard becomes a new planet. So give them imaginative projects. And so here is a kind of an option sheet. So every time a teacher can't be, Veer Hanuman, okay, I know everything and I know what you need to do. There would be times when you would say, okay, guys, choose what you want to do for this. The objective is communication skills, or the objective is debating skills, or the objective is persuasive skills, or the objective if you're a science teacher or a math teacher. So group them, ask them, do you want to work individually, in pair, or small group? Ask them, what is it that you want to know? Ask them, what is it that you want to research, how, what are your sources listed, and what is your product? Are you going to be making a video for me? Are you going to be making a blog post? Do you want to present through a PPT? Give them those choices, let them make decisions. They will become great decision makers. Again, a few examples, like for example, you tell them what are your optional learning targets. If for online, at times we can't go synchronously. Chapter 1 80 pages का है, तो 5 दिन में पेज 1 to 50 पढ़ लेना है, अगले 5 दिन में 50 to 80 पढ़ लेना है. It gets a little difficult. So give them targets. I want to learn linear function with a graph, and I can determine the impact of the World War II. And this is what I will be doing, and I'll be presenting it to you. So, of course, at the end of the day, they have to learn the entire content that is. But if they choose to present, you've won half the battle. They are already engaged with the text, they're already engaged with the content. So uh, ask them to find their resources, ask them to choose their product. Is it a podcast, is it an essay you want to write? The child is good in drawing, would you draw a poster for me? And things like that. So this is just an example. If there are English teachers in the forum today, there are choices that you can ask them to do. As an example, I am sorry I haven't collected science maths as examples, but I just collected some English examples. So you can ask them a variety of things to do. They will be so excited to do this. For example, if there is a Shakespeare drama that you've done, or what do you want them to do you want them to interview the antagonist, or do you want to make the characters, you are the character and you're giving the speech? Do you want them to tell the story as an object? For example, Lady Macbeth, do you want her the candle to speak, or do you want the whatever? And so, do they want to write an editorial article? Do they want to give an alternative ending to the text? Do they want to like give a review and things like that? So it's all about finding the balance, to uh, compile it all together. Keep the communications open with students, you know uh, uh, even if they want to connect with you on a personal chat. Ma'am, I did not could not gather courage to talk to you in the online class, but I'm facing this problem. So keep your communications open. Create events where you can, so for example, in my school we create events like design thinking fest, and so all subject teachers, they get in, and people are finding problems and designing solutions for it related to their subject. Then involve parents in orientations, emails, video chats. And remember that the simple act of having students communicate or brainstorm and create a presentation using a tech, it helps them to develop variety of skills. So as teachers, we want our students to be go-getters. We want them to be designers, creators, dreamers, builders, tinkerers, innovators. So if we want them to do that, why not we start with getting them there? So we need to be empowered teachers, because when the teachers smile, they laugh, they goof off, they themselves are modeling creativity. So don't lose that spark of humor. Don't, in the beginning, I said, take it easy, have a day off with them, let them tell their, we have a humor in uniform kind of a thing, and laugh it off with them. Do some goofing around. More and more teachers are proving that they are not content deliverers, and the distance has not meant relational distance, because I feel that online classes have also brought us very close to our students. So many of you will say that, I'm sure, given an opportunity. That's for you. This is for you. All of you can pat yourself on the back, because the teacher fraternity has proven that they have been amazing. And so I just wanted to share my wall with you. So I am, I have stopped sharing this screen. But Zainab ma'am, can I share my screen again? And
Yes, ma'am, you can surely share your screen the same way we did right now. You can open it.
okay, I just wanted to share uh, my wall that I will share.
So it will be in the same window. You have to go and share your screen and then window, and then you can share your wall.
Okay, I need to first get my window ready.
Yes, ma'am. So meanwhile, I would like to say something about Ma'am's presentation. It was absolutely amazing presentation, and I learned so much from your presentation. And I hope my fellow teachers have also learned few strategies from this presentation, the things that we are doing, but how to do them in a proper way. Like you are interacting with the students on a daily basis, but how to interact, how to make them feel that you are connected to them. the strategies that you told, ma'am, they are absolutely amazing strategies, and I just noted down a few of them. And this word high flex teaching is very interesting, how teachers can relate with their children, the children who are there in the class and children who are there on the computer, how she can relate with them. I got your wall, ma'am. I will share it. Yes. So you.
So here, yeah, here's my Wakelet wall, and here's all the work that I ask my students to. So, for example, I teach grade 10, 11, and 12, and so we are reading poetry on nostalgia, and so I ask them to, write poetry, and I get this. Here, my children have created a beautiful. Where is my nostalgia poetry? You'll see this is the work of one class. So we did a poetry on photograph, or we did my mother at 55, or whatever we do. And immediately in a class of 40 minutes, they discuss, they create their poetry. They are so savvy, and you can see all the poetry that my students have written, 4 line, 8 line. And this happens within those 40 minutes of time. But not only that, I'm with the critical thinking aspect. If I ask them to compare and contrast something, I've asked them to compare and contrast a poem. And so here they have shared, they have compared and contrast a photograph in childhood. So this is what I asked them to do, and give them a Wakelet wall link, and they post it up there. Can you see the compare and contrast diagrams? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible. They are incredible. For a 10th or 11th grader, they are like really remarkable.
Yeah. And so not only that, I ask them to create mind maps. So they, if we've learned a lesson which has got too many points to remember, I send them out. I ask them to create mind maps. And so there is a, mind map happening. And so their learning is solidified, which is what I was saying, that we need not transact any curriculum. We can ask them to actually critically think, analyze, and all of that. So this is what I wanted to show you. There is a Kahoot wall that I work with, and these are the my Kahoot questions. I send them out in a tizzy for 20 minutes. They go to a, they do their Kahoot and things like that. Yes, ma'am. That's it I wanted to share with.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your wall, and thank you for presenting such an interesting session, balancing that tightrope of online and offline education. Yes, our teachers are doing a remarkable job, and we should always like keep admiring them, and the process that they have transitioned from. Like they were teaching offline, and many of them were not that tech savvy, but they transformed themselves, and now they are mixing both the things. This is remarkable, and with your presentation I guess they have learned a lot today, and they will definitely use these strategies and techniques that you have discussed in your presentation in their classes, and make their children feel more emotionally and socially attached to their teacher and to each other as well. The example that you gave of eye contact, that is visible around us also. Like when we are online, we don't understand which child is keeping eye contact with us and which child is not, but when we are in a physical setup, we do notice all these things. And that's why it is good that we have started calling our students to the school, and definitely we will bring it back to normal with the children and with the students and their parents, the parents who have the fear of this pandemic to spread again, or maybe the parents who are having this fear of their children becoming asocial or selectively social. This will go away. So with this, we come to an end of our session. But in the meantime, I would like to request my audience to write their queries in the comment section. Please, my dear audience, you can type your questions in the comment section. If you have any questions, please go ahead and type your questions. So, ma'am, I would just like to know this, like as you are teaching senior children, but at times it become a hassle or a problem for the teachers who are teaching lower grades to do this high flex teaching, like some students in the class and some online. She's not able to give that much of attention to all of them. So would you like to suggest some strategy for these younger kids?
Exactly. We've started calling students from 6, 7, 8, class 6 upwards have started coming. So this is what in my school also I share. So earlier also we used to have monitors, right? Monitors. So these are chat moderators or monitors who help the teacher. So if I am interacting with my offline students who are in person, and so there is an online monitor who will post the question, or if the teacher wants something to be presented on the screen, so that our students are able to help the teacher with that. They learn technical skills. Also, we have OHPs in our classes, so the offline and online students are at least their the content that is being sent out to them is the same, and they can connect with each other. So the other day little ones had a debate, and so if a child in class is speaking for, the child online is speaking against, and so we are each other. So it's happening. We have to try. You are on mute, ma'am.
So I just noted down these strategies of your, like, meaningful engagement for students, like the strategies that you gave of chat moderators and search masters. So our teachers can definitely take note of this and can use these. And the best thing is, from like, we as teacher have to move from engagement to empowerment, because why are
Empowerment.
we teaching? To have empowered children and empowered citizens in our future. So I don't see, ma'am, many questions coming. I guess my audience has got a lot of stuff to go and practice in their classes. So thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you, my dear audience, for staying with us and us listening to us very patiently, sparing your time. Thank you, Kashmira, ma'am, and hope to see you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye
A
bye. Have
request
a
to
great day.
my
Thank
you
you.
to a request to my audience to go to our Global Dream page and watch for our literacy talks there with the name Detox, and go to our website also to watch for our upcoming trainings. The getlearn.org, our website. You can go there and watch for our upcoming trainings. Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a lovely day. Thank you, my dear
Have a
audience.
lovely day. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.